I'd like to call meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Mr. Christopher?
Yes.
Mrs. Burns? Yes. Mr. Brown?
Yes.
I need a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Pratt, second. Mr. George, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good evening, members of the board, and we have an audience full tonight here, so we're happy to see everybody. We have a couple of items under presentation tonight. First is a Special Olympics donation. We have a group of really dedicated folks who put on a golf tournament every year for the sole purpose of raising money for our Special Olympics. And they are going to present a donation here tonight. We have Diane Papageorge and Carol Ransom, and our Special Olympics and JB Meddy is here too from the committee, works really hard on this, and that might be it. And then Miss Laura Johnson is our Special Olympics sponsor, and we've got some participants here as well. So Diane, you want to?
All right. I'm really happy to be able to say that we have $7,200 to give. And it was a very successful tournament. It rained, it poured down rain, and no one was scared of that at all. And we hung out. It was the best, one of the best tournaments ever. And we are really proud to give this to you guys so you can buy some new uniforms. Okay? So, yeah.
I'm new to this position, so on behalf of our athletes and then Diane and the rest of the team, we just want to say thank you, that we will use it for uniforms. We have some other things, equipment needs and things like that. We were just discussing in the back what activities we should add. So I think that money will definitely go to you. So we love this program. Like I said, it's my first time. It's very enriching. It's thrilling. It's something that we really want to expand and grow, and I just want to thank our athletes and Ms. Diane and the rest of our team for the money. And
we have great backers, and
Yeah.
a lot of really, as soon as we mention the cause, people are there.
good. And we're ready to do it, right, guys?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
And golf tournament set for next summer, second Friday in June.
Why don't you guys stand?
Always the second Friday in June.
Yep.
I stand in behind you.
Yes.
There it is. Everyone has a window. Perfect. 3, 2. Thank you. Have a great day. Way to go, guys.
Next item under presentation will be the presentation and approval of our 24-25 district audit. And Mr. Brian Whittle is here, our CFO, and he will introduce our guest.
All right, well, thanks for having me. We have the always exciting audit presentation. This year, we really tried to get it October, November, but there was a delay in the federal guidance for our single audits. We're so large that we have to get a special audit on our grants because they're over $500,000 a year. And, that's probably a lot of the most important part of the work they do is auditing our grants. So, you have to wait for that guidance from the federal government, but we're really happy to have the audit ready today, and we'll get it uploaded to DESI tomorrow. So, next week on the details of it.
Yep. Hi, my name's Nick Torito. I'm a director with Clifton Larson Allen. I've been with the firm for just over 12 years. I've been on this job as an associate for about, I think I started about 10 years ago with Fort Zumwalt. So just here to present the FY25 audit results for the school year. So I'll jump right into it. I'm going to go over the audit approach and our risks. I'm not going to really dabble in that too long. I don't want to put anybody to sleep, but just kind of the high level stuff there. Executive summary on what we report on, what we opine on, the federal programs we tested, and then those results. And then we have required communication to the board that we have to just mention to you all. So there's a couple risks we look at. One is a control risk, so that's from the district side. what's the risk that a control in place, it won't work appropriately. So we have to assess that risk. The higher the risk, the more testing we have to do. The lower the risk, the less testing we have to do. So typically we have to do an internal control walkthrough. Brian and Janice pull together all the processes on the significant audit areas for the district. We identify key controls, and then they provide us with information, and then walk through the controls to make sure that they're designed properly, that they're working, and that they're actually implemented. So that's part of the control process. On our side, there's a detection risk. What's the risk that our tests that are designed do not catch an issue, or that they're not designed properly? So higher the risk, the more testing we have to do. Lower the risk, less testing. That typically affects the sample size, materiality thresholds on year-over-year fluctuations. And then with every audit, not just SLG, not just K-12, but with every audit, there are inherent risks. Revenue recognition is a big one, and management override controls. With revenue recognition, it's just, is the revenue recorded in the appropriate period? The district being cash basis reporter simplifies that a lot. So when the cash is received, that's when revenue is recorded. There's no receivables, there's no due froms. And on the flip side, with the expenses, when the cash is paid out, that's when the expense is recorded. There's no payables, there's no accrued liabilities to speak of. So it's really simplified in that regard. We are able to confirm the tax revenue through the county and the state and federal monies through DESI. A lot of the federal money flows through DESI, so we're able to confirm third-party confirmations on those balances. And then management override controls, basically management, the risk is that management would sidestep any controls in place. So typically that's done through journal entries. So we have a pretty thorough journal entry review process, make sure that that risk is reduced to kind of a reasonable level. So just again, a real high level on our approach and the risks that we have to look at. So the executive summary, just the scopes of our services. I think you'll probably see 5 or 6 reports, but we only issue 4 opinions. One is just the standard financial statement report over the district's numbers. There is an examination report, the state compliance piece as relates to attendance, transportation, and budget. So Brian and company gives us all of that data and make sure that it's reasonable. And then the last 2 are our compliance and internal controls over government auditing standards, or GAS, and the federal awards, or the OMB compliance supplement, which Brian briefly mentioned, which was kind of cause for concern on potentially delay in issuance, possibly even a split issuance. So we did test 1 program, special education cluster. That is just part of our normal rotation, so no issues there, no findings. Everything was in working order there. And then the big thing, that's what the results of the unmodified opinion on all those reports, which is a clean audit opinion. That's the best you can get. So no findings, nothing that we noted. Some general recommendations, verbal recommendations we had with Janice and Brian throughout the course of the audit, but nothing that warrants the attention of the board, nothing that warrants any written observations even. So our required communication for the most part is no material uncertainties, no significant estimates that were utilized, no disagreements with management, and no delays within our control. The federal government shutdown did throw a wrench in the plans this year. They didn't approve the final compliance supplement until right before Thanksgiving. So we were able to work off a draft, but that kind of put things up in the air for quite a while. So no corrected misstatements or uncorrected misstatements noted, no fraud or illegal activities identified, and overall just it was a pleasure to work with Brian and Janice again, but no non-compliance, and I mentioned no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. So key takeaways, unmodified opinion, clean audit opinion, and aside from the federal government shutdown, was a very clean audit. Janice and Brian give us not only timely information, but it's complete, so we're not having to come back and get more information as it's, they give it something just to shut us up, and then we come back for more because it's not complete, but it's always complete and accurate. So any questions there?
I need a motion to approve the 24-25 district audit and publication of financial statements as presented. Mr. Christopher, second. Ms. Byrd, any discussion?
Thank you.
Thanks.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we have our comments from the public. Before we begin, please remember, this is a board meeting rather than a public forum. The primary purpose of this meeting is to conduct the business of the board in a timely manner. As such, please keep the following in mind when presenting comments to the board. Individual remarks will be limited to 3 minutes and to 1 appearance per person. Also, the board president may limit comments of a repetitive nature on the same topic. Generally, comments or questions directed to the board will not be answered during the meeting. It is also important to remember that comments regarding individual students or employees, even if names are not used, may not be made during open session. Finally, the Board of Education would like to remind speakers they are responsible for any potentially defamatory comments made during the public comments portion of the meeting. All right, Mr. Dino?
Thank you very much, members of the Board of Education. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dinoff, District Public Advocate, candidate for the Board of Education. I want to remind the community that there are 3 positions on the Board of Education that are open this year. I would ask that you get involved in our community, give a change and a new leadership direction on this Board of Education that is sorely needed. Filing your candidates, there's a litany of qualifications that you need to meet. You need to file with Ms. Marks, the election official of the district, and there will be limited times between now and December 30th. The last day is December 30th, and the district will be open from 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. And hopefully that does meet all the requirements and the law, Chapter 115 of the Revised State Statutes. If anyone desires any information of how to run as a Board of Education member, there's numerous steps you need to make. Please give me a call at 314-440-9000. The demographic study that's on your agenda, $33,500. That's ridiculous for us to spend that kind of money in today's technological and data-driven data and resources out there. We have a number of universities who know the population of St. Charles County. The East-West Gateway Coordinating Council knows the demographics for federal funding, which is a conduit, which all the money from Congress and the federal government flows down. State departments have a lot of demographics of our district, including DESE. And this is all obtained for free of charge, at no charge to the taxpayer. And I would ask that we get that free of charge rather than hiring a demographic services company for $33,500. For the middle school roofing project, I'm asking that we get better bids and better competition. $63,415 sounds like a lot of money for one segment of North Middle, which is one wing of that building. And I would ask that we would look at doing that project in-house, using our carpenters and our other people that we have on staff. Finally, the certified staff schedule recommendation. Finally, some good news, $3,000 in terms of a step increase and a longevity scale. It was passed by the FZEA by 97%. And who are the silent observers, or 2 silent observers on this committee? It's kind of an interesting term. The HVAC improvements, there's a lot of information missing in terms of filing the actual bids, making sure that we're getting good quality, good, decent, honest HVAC people. Hopefully we're not involved in train with their schemes and scams that they scam other school districts, such as the Wentzville School District. But $10.3 million is nothing to sneeze at, and I would ask that we look at that. Finally, the St. Peter's School Resource Officers. This contract is that for school safety or security of buildings. Thank you.
I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Mr. Christopher, second. Ms. Byrd, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, financial reports.
All right. Well, hello again. Talking about something very similar to the audit, except, the problem I have with the audit is it's now December and we're just getting a report telling us we did a really good job on June 30th. And of course, a really good job for an accountant just means unmodified. It's best words I can hear. So to go from there, we do take our audit and our ASBR. We use the same terminology. We've modified the reports so they match what the state's, how the state's telling us to report. And we also did that down to the monthly financial level. So I just, I don't talk about the actual reports themselves in here and how they're structured, but the revenue and the expense report, they're structured based on how DESI tells us to present. And then we also compare it to the prior year and to the budget by all of those columns. So now I really feel we have all three reports in sync, with what's audited, what we give to the state, and then our monthly financials. From there, I just want to note, I think I said this last November too, this is currently our lowest balance of the year. We are at 15%. That's kind of how I look at it. Our June number is great, but what really matters is what's our balance when we have the least amount of money coming in, and that's this time of year, because we haven't had property taxes come in really since last February, and we've been spending those down to get to this point in time. As far as expenses go, just so I don't go over what I've got over the past few months, I just wanted to point out, if you looked at it, you can see the contract to transportation line is going over, the same spending pace we had last year. And I also know it's a cliche for a CFO to sit and tell a school board that our contracted transportation is growing at a faster pace than we want. We even increased the budget by $500,000 this year, thinking that would be enough so I wouldn't have to come up here and tell you guys that it is currently going faster than we anticipated. But we do have hopes that in the coming months, we're going to slow down that spending. A lot of that hiring we've been doing is for transportation drivers, and hopefully that'll reduce our reliance on contracted transportation routes over the next few months. So there is hope that we'll actually hit our budget number this year and not have to ask for more for contracted transportation. So, and I mean, Jeff Schweppker, he lives and breathes it. He's trying really hard to get this down, so. Any questions on the financials?
I need a motion to approve the financial report as presented. Mr. Pratt, second. Mr. George, any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Dr. St. Pierre?
Thank you. Under old business, we have one item, and even though it's December, we've been busy starting to make plans for our summer projects, and we have had a number of buildings that are in need of new HVAC systems. And we're able to, with this plan, make a good dent in replacing aging equipment that is unable to keep up, breaks down often, and we've talked often about the ability to control the physical learning environment for teachers and staff, and how much that makes their job easier, and it's easier for the kids to learn. And so we have solicited bids for 4 buildings. As you recall, we have these unit ventilators at most of our elementary schools, and those have really become problematic over the years. We're really trying to phase those out. With this version of summer work, we will make a really, really good step towards that, and our plan would be to knock out the rest of them the following summer, but there is only so much we can do. These bids are part of our 2022 bond issue. We had planned this in the budget. There's good news, because when we were estimating how much we thought this would cost, when we're trying to put together what can we get done with these remaining bond funds, our bids came in really, really close to what we thought they would come in and what our planning reflected. So we're happy with that. Lisa is going to go over a little more of the specifics and ask for your approval.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. St. Pierre. Members of the board, in your packet was a memo from me for the bids that we had solicited. We got them on Wednesday, December 3rd. We had 3 contractors that submitted bids on this bid package, on these bid packages. I reviewed them with the engineer of record, FSG, and in reviewing them, we determined that Integrate Facility Services and IFS and Sheet Metal Contractors, Inc., known as SMCI, everybody goes by an acronym, were the 2 lowest bidders that we would get the most, the best for our money using these 2 contractors. The 2 contractors that were low, we have used for the past 2 or 3 summers now. They do a great job for us. They really help us with problem solving when we run into unforeseen conditions. So they've just been fantastic to work with. So the schools that we're going to replace them at, or I'd like to recommend, is North Middle, Pheasant Point, Rock Creek, and Westoff Elementary. In the bids that we received, IFS Also submitted some voluntary alternates. They looked at the project, they saw where we could maybe have some cost savings, maybe by putting one unit in instead of two, just different things. So I'm gonna go through each bid recommendation so we can get approval, but we're recommending to go with IFS for North Middle School. Their base bid was $3,195,000. We had an alternate to replace some additional five large rooftop units for the gyms and the cafeterias. That was $565,000. They submitted voluntary alternates for a total deduct of $68,000. And then they also were the low bidder for bid package 4 for Westoff Elementary at $2,274,500. So I'm recommending to award them a total contract of $5,966,500. And then Sheet Metal Contractors, Inc., they were low bid on bid package 2 for Pheasant Point in the amount of $2,074,557. And bid package 3 was Rock Creek Elementary for $2,194,957. For a total of $4,269,514. So that would be my recommendation to the board. I'd be happy to answer any questions about the particulars on these projects, but I highly recommend both companies.
What was the reason?
Hold on one second. I need a motion to approve the 2026 summer HVAC improvement recommendations as presented. Mr. George, second. Ms. Byrd? Any discussion?
Yes, I had, pardon me, excuse me. I had a question on why are we not going with Vogel Heating and Cooling on the add-ons?
Because
It's the lower bidder?
you cannot give a separate contractor just the add-ons. They have to do the base bid.
Okay. And I suppose the same question is for, never mind, I'll withdraw that.
Okay.
Do you want to take each of these separately? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, and
Thank
happy
you very
belated
much.
birthday.
Thank you.
I think she was here till 6:30 on her birthday. So.
It's all right.
Okay, in new business, we have our early childhood tuition recommendation. Again, it's December, so we're really starting to look towards next year. And one of the items that we need to present and get approval from the board is our tuition for our early childhood program. We would recommend that we set that tuition now because we would like to start enrollment pretty soon after we return, right, in early January-ish. Dr. Todd is here in the audience, sitting next to Dr. Hodleman. Dr. Todd is the Executive Director for Early Learning, and she leads that whole operation and does so really well. Dr. Smith has a recommendation for our tuition rate for next year, and she will hit the highlights for that, ask for your approval, and if Dr. Todd needs to chime in, she can do so too.
Thank you, Dr. St. Pierre, and members of the board. It is that time of year. Included in your packet is information about our recommended tuition rates. We have not raised our tuition rates at our Early Childhood Center since I've been here. We do take that very seriously and want to bring quality care to our families. In communication with Dr. Todd and Mr. Whittle, there has been a very slight increase that has been recommended that brings us in alignment with the state adequacy target for reimbursement for students who qualify for state aid in lieu of tuition. So those very slight changes of just $1.42 for the full-day program, $1.21 for the half-day program, 50 cents for the before and after-school care. That brings us in alignment with that state adequacy target and allows us to continue to operate the program with the incidentals that are not reimbursed to be covered by that tuition. That is our recommendation this evening. Unless you have questions, we'd be happy to entertain them.
I need a motion to approve the 2026-2027 early childhood tuition recommendation as presented. Ms. Byrd, second. Mr. Christopher, any discussions? All right. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you, Dr. Todd. And I do believe that is that we have not had an increase period since the building opened, I do believe, which was prior to Dr. Smith's time here. So we've been good. We've really tried to keep those costs in check, of course, because we understand what that does for our community. So we're happy to be able to do that. This is a minimal increase. Thank you for your approval. We'll start registration in January, and then the slots fill up quickly, don't they, Dr. Thomas?
Yes, our full day spots fill in less than 2 minutes, so very, very quickly.
How many slots do we have?
For the full day, we have 2.5 classrooms that do full day. So at about 16 for each of those, so yeah, about 40.
Okay, next item under new business is our 2026-2027 school year calendar. Again, the theme is planning for next year, and we recently completed negotiations with our Teachers Association on calendar and salary agreement. It's the first of several versions of negotiation resolutions that we'll be bringing to you throughout the year. We need to set the calendar, obviously, because folks are starting to wonder. However, there is a statutory date by which we cannot start any sooner than that date, so that is fixed. The rest of the details we get to fill in. What we are also required to have 169 days of attendance. So again, there's a little bit of flexibility, but our options have gotten narrowed a little bit with some of the state laws that have been passed. Mrs. Williams is going to present the outcome of that negotiation session for our calendar for 26-27 and ask for your approval.
Good evening. Like Dr. St. Pierre said, we had negotiations for calendar and salary. We started both of those in October and worked through October and November. I do want to recognize Hunter Wood. He's the president of the Fort Zumwalt Educators Association. The teams that were representative of both the district and the Education Association are listed on the back of those memos, and felt like both teams came very ready to collaborate and problem solve and true win-win fashion for what was best for the district, parents, families, and our staff members. So what you have in front of you is the calendar that we would like to propose for your approval. The highlights are a Tuesday start. Also, finals would be before winter break. The year ends before Memorial Day. And there are still 169 student contact days for elementary, 173 for high school. So this did pass approval with the FZEA by 97%, and we would ask for your approval for the 26-27 calendar as well. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any.
I need a motion to approve the 26-27 school year calendar as presented. Mr. Pratt, second. Mr. George, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is teacher salary agreement for 2026-2027. In like fashion, that was kind of wrapped into this negotiations process with the FZEA, with calendar and salary. The second piece of that is salary for 2026-2027. We were happy with the overall process, again, like Aaron has said, and with the product as well, because we believe we've been able to put a significant increase in our starting salary and also put some good increases in all of ourselves. And so we're happy with that. Aaron, you want to hit any highlights?
I do want to hit the highlights, but I also want to recognize Brian Whittle because he made this process super interactive and transparent. He came up with a tool so that everybody on the committee could play around and see what we could do within the budget, within the salary schedule to keep it within budget, and it just made the process very transparent and interactive and really easy to work with one another. So I appreciate his work on that. But what you have in front of you is the proposed salary schedule. It would be an overall increase of 3% in funds to the schedule. It increases our step 1 BA, so our starting salary cell to $48,000, which is a $2,900 increase from where we are right now. And then it also increases each of our longevity steps, so honoring that, those folks who have been with us for a long time by $3,000 each. We are very happy with this. We have good steps, we feel, that are gonna do some good things for us. And again, this passed by 97% from the Education Association, so we would look for your approval, but happy to answer any questions.
I need a motion to approve the 26-27 teacher salary agreement as presented. Mr. Christopher, second. Ms. Byrd, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. On to the demographic study. So, as we know, and as we've discussed a little bit, our student enrollment data is kind of representative of a gradual decline over the years. In 2005, at our peak enrollment, we were approaching 20,000 students, and now, 20-some years later, we're under 17,000 students, okay? Variety of factors weigh into that. We've never done a formal, to my knowledge, demographic study in our district. It is a very common practice in many, many districts, not only to do one, but to do them regularly. Because to get that precise enrollment data is critical. It plays a big part in your long-range plan. So we sent out a request for proposals to learn from firms who do this work and see what their proposals would be and about how much it might cost us. And we got a wide range of responses. But the main reason that we are looking to get this information is, again, just to inform our long-range planning. We need some more precise data, and so, yes, some of it is available. There's a lot that goes into it, however, when it comes to housing trends, developments, available land, birth rates, etc. So Brian Whittle sent out an RFP, and he is going to talk about the vendor that we are recommending.
Yeah, we sent out the RFP in early November with a, end of November due date. Fortunately, everyone responded. We got 5 good responses from that. That gave us plenty of time to review it before this meeting. There were, like I said, there was 5 vendors. There were 3 that we considered close, with the lowest coming in at that $34,000, and then the next lowest was $60,000. So, our antenna, my antenna raises up, Henry's antenna raises up. How can someone offer it that much lower? The highest bid was $104,000, but we had some very good news. The lowest bidder, RSP, had done Orchard Farms demographic study, that had done Troy, a lot in this state, and they came highly recommended. So then it became my favorite type of recommendation. It's the lowest price, and it's highly recommended. It's, to me, the decision made itself. It's more if you feel a demographic study is needed is the question.
I need a motion to approve the demographic study recommendation as presented. Mr. Christopher, second. Ms. Byrd, any discussion?
Just one question. A member of the public had raised the question that there are free resources out there, and can you speak to any benefits we have with, this paid service versus the free resources, what we get above and beyond?
Yeah, those resources would be pretty good for the district as a whole. We'd have a good idea of where we're gonna be at 3 or 4 years down the road. We're not gonna know at an individual school level, and we're talking about resource allocation planning. We need those numbers by school because, frankly, what if we, put money in one school when their enrollment is just plateauing, where we should have put it into a school where it's growing, and we just didn't know that. We were going off of this year's numbers, not realizing, hey, next year's is gonna be better. There's also good rules of thumb they can give us. They might say, if it's in your East District and there's a new apartment complex, 1 out of 4, new apartments is gonna result in a child coming to your school. Like, those are good rules of thumbs that they give us too, that we just can't get from the data. It's more the granularness of it. I personally think we're gonna plateau nationwide. Student population's going down, but we live in a desirable area with a desirable school district, so that's gonna help us more than school districts, areas where people are moving to. So.
Okay, thank you.
The other piece that they'll add is a capacity analysis for all of our buildings. And that they'll do an analysis for each one of our sites, and they'll establish a capacity. When you reach this threshold, that's your capacity. So we can come up with that too, but it's a lot more by feel than it is by using data and science.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions? Right, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. Give Brian a chance to catch his breath here before I introduce him to the next one. But you're doing great, Brian. We have our bus lease and purchase recommendation. We have about 170-ish buses in our fleet, and it is necessary to regularly transition some of those buses out. It's very important that we have safe, reliable buses, and just like your vehicle at home, when it gets too old, chances are more likely that you're gonna have issues with it, you're gonna put a lot of money into it, and it may break down. We don't want any of those things, so it is important for us to have an annual rotation for our bus fleet. The last thing we want is to have to replace a really large number all at once, because that is not really sustainable for our budget. So we've got kind of a measured approach of picking the 15 or so buses that are in the worst condition, and Brian has a plan to replace those, and so he'll present that to you.
All right, Jeff Schwepker, he identified the need for 15 buses this year, a mix of sizes based on the need. I listed them all out. It's altogether 12 of the buses are gonna be 77 passengers or more. The other 3 buses are more special, like one is for special education and 2 are more of our long-range buses. Of those, 6 of them, we're looking at propane buses for them. We have a propane grant this year. As of right now, it is $50,000 per bus for 4 buses. There's a good chance it's 5 buses, so we wanted to make sure we had at least 5 propane buses, because 50,000 is a lot. Last year it was 25,000 for comparison. We don't know yet. I spoke last month about my preference to not lease, but an unfortunate side effect is our cash flow does say we have to lease some still. And if we're gonna have a lease, transportation's the best place to have it, because we do get reimbursed by the state, for at least some of that, whereas leasing other things, there's no state reimbursement. And we've also worked with Central States, because we buy Bluebird buses, and Central States is exclusive to the area, so it is kind of hard to get competitive pricing. But we got a Arkansas state price sheet, me and Jeff Schwepker did, and they matched that, so that was very good of them. And we found a way to, with the leasing, part of our lease charge is their maintenance fee. They were calling that interest. Well, interest isn't reimbursable, so we're gonna have our leases broken out now where that maintenance fee is a maintenance fee, so that is at least partially reimbursable, and it cuts down some of the impact of the interest. And I know here we're talking 10, 20,000, but it's important for us to find every dollar we can, as big as we are. So, and that's gonna be my plan. Once I have a better idea of how much we're gonna purchase outright versus leases on a cash flow basis, we'll probably come back to and say, but Central States needs to know now that we want these 15 buses so they can reserve them, so we can have them ready for next school year.
I need a motion to approve the bus purchase and lease recommendation as presented. Ms. Berg, second. Mr. George, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right.
Okay, and the last item under new business is our institutional insurance renewal with music. We probably remember last year we got hit with some pretty bad news, and that was a really sharp rate increase reflective of that hailstorm, basically, that affected the entire state. This year we've got better news to report. Brian?
Correct, yes. So on the face, our premium is going up 8%. like Henry said, that's much better than 1.4 million and 40%, but really that premium increase isn't reflective of our true cost, because we're getting rebates. We've already gotten one rebate for workers' comp, which is why you see a big negative number of the workers' comp expense right now, and we're trending towards $1 million rebate on our property and liability insurance. So, I thought you were exclaiming in surprise, Mike, I'm sorry.
No.
So that's, the million's not guaranteed, but we're gonna get something, we're gonna get a rebate. We'd have to have basically another hailstorm for that to happen, for it to go up. So I think we're gonna have a flat insurance and maybe.
You need to knock on wood right now.
So I think as the year goes, we're not gonna get that rebate to next year, so we will see the price it on our books this year, but it'll be a good number to start when I'm budget planning for 26, 27. I do, and then we also, in addition to the regular insurance, we're also asking for umbrella coverage again. That's to increase our excess liability. I think they only go $3.5 million now, and then the district will be on hook, so this bumps that up. And, with just the way settlement claims and things go, that umbrella is helpful, so we're not impacting our bottom line.
I need a motion to approve the 2026 music insurance renewal as presented. Mr. Christopher, second. Mr. Pratt, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. All right, comments from the board. I'll start with you, Mr. George.
I want to give a shout out to 2 teachers that were named for Emerson Excellence winners. Crystal Bearding and Katie Harding Scholes are among about 100 regional educators recognized by the Emerson Excellence in Teaching Awards. Crystal is our 4th Zumwalt Educator of the Year and a West High alum. She teaches special ed at South Middle. And Katie graduated from East High and teaches special ed at North High. Congrats to them both. And I just wanted to thank everybody. We're about halfway through the school year. End of this year, I think it's going pretty good, but that's because all of you guys work so hard, the teachers, support staff, the admin, and you make it really easy to sit up here. So thank you, and happy holidays.
Mr. Christopher?
Yeah, I have 4 shout outs here for some sports. Quite a fall for us. Several teams did quite well. Give congratulations to North High School football for winning their 11th conference title in the past 12 years and their 9th district title in the last 12 years. And they finished the season in the state quarterfinals and ranked in the top 20 by Sports Illustrated. So Coach Bacon and Panthers always do a good job. So next thing is congratulations to the South High Varsity Competition Cheer Squad, who brought home the 4A large division state champion this year. Do a wonderful job. 2 of our soccer teams made the Final Four. East High School finished with their best record ever, finishing 2nd in state in Class 3. And then West High School boys soccer team finished 3rd in Class 4. So congratulations to them. That was an exciting weekend. Didn't go quite as well as we had hoped in some areas, but it was off good. So great job for the kids, working hard. Echo Tommy's thoughts. Always appreciate everybody's hard work, and that's what makes this district as good as it is. We have a great community, great kids, great parents, and a lot of people that work hard. So happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Mr. Pratt?
Sure. Back to some teacher recognitions. From the west side here, we have a music teacher at Osmond Elementary, Shelly Ann Reagan. She's earned her National Board Certificate status, teacher status through the National Board of Professional Teaching Standards. And at West High, we have a German teacher, Thomas Godsell. He was awarded an early career award for foreign language with the Foreign Language Association of Missouri at the conference last month. So congratulations to both of them. Yes, thank you for your service, and everybody have a great Christmas. Enjoy your break.
Thank you. We are excited to announce our new virtual art shows featured on our website.
Thanks to the students at West High and Austin Elementary and to their teachers for sharing your work with us in the November show. And to Pheasant Point, Rock Creek, and West Middle for sharing your work in the December show. And like everyone else says, you all do an incredible job. Thank you so much, everyone absolutely across the board.
Thank you. Our Certified Youth Apprenticeship Program continues to grow. Last month, almost 20 signed to begin their journey in career paths such as information technology, culinary arts, paraprofessional educator, and healthcare professions. The district now has 81 students earning their nationally recognized certificate in 14 different occupations and 26 graduates who are United States Department of Labor certified apprentices, thanks to this program. That's awesome. Great job. It's been a work in progress and it just keeps growing and it's wonderful. I agree with everybody else. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your work with getting everything in agreement. Same with you, Aaron, and the team. It's really nice that we have that and we have the communication that we do across the board that makes us the district we are and the trust is there. So I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Christmas and happy holidays. And with that, this concludes our agenda. We will not return to open session after the closed session. I need a motion to go into closed session in accordance with RMSO 610.021 to discuss the approval of the minutes from the November 20th, 2025 closed session meeting, hiring, firing, promotion of personnel, and student personnel.
So motion.
Mr. Pratt, second. Ms. Byrd. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Christopher?
Yes.
Mr. George?
Yes.
Mrs. Byrd?
Yes.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
All right. You guys ready to keep rolling?